ازيكم يا جماعه، عاملين ايه؟ اهلا بيكم في حلقه جديده، والنهارده هنتفرج على اغرب 10 رياضات في العالم. يلا بينا.
All of my youngest some savages running your trap at you up with them packages. Rob you for bricks, finesse you for pounds. Fuck all that talking they land.
دي حلوه دي شكلها حلو.
When it comes to sports, we're pretty spoiled for
صعب
choice.
أوي.
But if you're still looking, there are still a few options out there, far stranger than your average ball games. Some of them are truly unique, others an unusual fusion of sports from two completely different ends of the spectrum. From zorbing all the way to dragon boat tug of war, today's list will give you an extensive list of the strangest activities you may want to try. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss another
شغل
awesome
الجرس وخليه
video.
اول.
Okay, let's get started. Number 10. Sepik Takraw.
ايه ده؟
Sepik Takraw is extremely popular in Southeast Asia, and actually very similar to volleyball. There's just one catch.
إيه ما
Players can pass around the ball
منفصل
using
مية.
any body part except for their arms. And the sport is played with a ball of dried palm leaves. The first versions of Sepak Takraw were not so much of a competition, but rather cooperative displays of skill designed to exercise the body,
ايه ده؟
improve dexterity, and loosen the limbs after long periods of sitting,
يا عم ده فيها مزق
standing, or working.
وكسر وحاجات
But
أخرى.
by the 1940s, the net version of the game had spread throughout Southeast Asia. Informal rules were introduced. This sport became officially known as Sepik Takraw, also commonly referred to as kick volleyball. Number 9. Dragon Boat Tug of War. The Polish have invented a wild, paddling tug of war game with an awesome name.
لذيذة دي.
This
أكيد
sport
بتعتمد على
has
القوة
two
بس
groups
يعني.
of men rowing against each other while sitting at opposite ends of what's called a dragon boat, which is basically a rowboat, but twice as wide and way more awesomely named. When seeing Dragon Boat Tug of War for the first time, you might wonder why the team that crossed the line is celebrating. This confuses our brains, which are wired for the normal rope version of tug of war. But Dragon Boat Tug of War works differently. It involves out paddling the other team,
احنا في
pushing
لعبة
them
شد
back
الحبل التيم
and
اللي هو
moving
الأحمر
toward the
ده.
center line,
لو
not
شد
away from
التيم
it.
التاني عليه المفروض هو كسب. هنا لا، انت
Number
بتزق
8.
انك
Tuk-tuk
تروح ناحية
polo.
الحبل، تعدي
Traditional
الحبل.
polo has been adapted for horses,
Okay.
elephants, heck, even segways. But now, it can even be played from tuk-tuks.
توك 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 توك.
The sport was developed as a replacement for another version of polo played on elephant backs, which was discontinued in 2007 after one of the elephants went on a rampage. Each team consists of players riding two tuk-tuks. On each tuk-tuk, there's a driver and another player responsible for striking the ball. Players use short mallet-like sticks to wield the ball that is similar to a cricket ball. The objective of the sport, as with other forms of polo, is to score as many goals as possible by striking the ball through the goalposts.
لعبة تعبانة.
Number 7. Underwater football. Underwater football is a two-team sport that shares common elements with two other unusual sports, like underwater hockey and underwater rugby. One thing's for sure, the impact of a tackle won't be half as bad with all that water resistance. It is played in a swimming pool using snorkel.
يا ولا زعيق ولا زعيق حاسب يا زعيق هتعورنا يا زعيق
Snorkeling equipment, and a slightly negatively buoyant ball. The goal of the game is to maneuver the ball from one side of a pool to the other and place it within a gutter to score a point. Several ball types have been used throughout the game's history. These include a 10-pound pool brick, a junior-sized NFL-style football, and a junior-sized basketball, all with negative buoyancy. How, you ask? Easy. Air-filled balls, such as the football or basketball, can be made negatively buoyant by filling them with a liquid that is heavier than water, such as a strong saline solution or corn syrup. Number 6. Unicycle hockey. Just when you thought hockey couldn't get any more exciting, someone goes and invents unicycle hockey. That's right, unicycle hockey is a thing, and is exactly what it sounds like. Hockey played on unicycles. Each player mounts onto their unicycle during game action in order to play the ball. If you're not mounted, you're not allowed to touch the ball. Just like ice hockey, each team sends out 5 players each, and no dedicated goalie. This isn't just something that is played for fun. There are 3 national unicycle hockey leagues located in the world. Australia's league features 8 teams. Switzerland is home to about 20 teams. And Germany's league features 53 teams. Riding a unicycle without falling off is hard enough as it is. But to do it while playing a game of hockey would seem almost impossible. But hey, it's not. Number 5, dog surfing. The world's coolest sport just got real for dogs. Historically, surfing dogs have been documented as early as the 1920s. Shortly after, competitions and exhibitions that feature surfing dogs have popped up in various coastal areas around the United States. Dog surfing involves dogs that are trained to stand on a surfboard, either alone or together with their human companion. Once they've been paddled out, their human counterpart waits for the perfect wave to come around and off they go. In dog surfing competitions, judging criteria may include the dog's overall certainty on the board, wave size, and ride length. Number 4, ostrich racing. Yup, you heard it. Ostrich racing is real, with actual jockeys and terrifying breakneck speeds. The feathered creatures can reach an astonishing 43 miles per hour, making the races fast-paced, exciting, and a fun taste of danger. It's common for jockeys to fall off the animals when they're going too fast. The sport has a surprisingly long history. It's thought that the ancient Egyptian queen Arsinoe II was depicted riding an ostrich, and races aren't too unusual in parts of Africa. Racing has become particularly popular in the US, with the Lastimus Chandler Ostrich Festival in Arizona attracting over 100,000 visitors. The sport has attracted controversy in the past, with animal rights organizations blasting it for causing the ostriches unnecessary fear and distress. Unusual? For sure. Completely ethical? We'll leave it up to you to decide. Number 3, zorbing. Although it's one of the strangest sports out there, zorbing is actually pretty simple. Climb inside a big inflated ball and roll down a hill. If it sounds strange, you're right. If it sounds like fun, you're definitely right. The rider bounces around and gets the thrill of speed, but is protected from the full impact of hitting the ground repeatedly. Zorbing has been around since the mid-90s and has since then become a global success. It's often also referred to as globe riding, sphering, orbing, and the more generic hill rolling. The inflatable balls have even been combined with other sports like soccer, where players are constantly knocking each other down. In which case, you could argue that this is one of those games where defense is more fun. Number 2, cycle ball. Cycle ball is the sport that's been around for over 120 years that you've never heard of. Combining bicycles and football is totally a thing, and it's been popular in Europe for ages. If you've ever looked at your bike, then at your football and thought, these two things need to be combined, then you're probably a fan. Okay, so maybe that's why it went undiscovered for so long. Anyway, players are expected to use just the bike to control, flick, and move the ball, and you have to use a fixed gear bike with no brakes. So needless to say, crashes and injuries are frequent, and it's very difficult to play. Is it dangerous? A little. Unusual? Hell yes. Fun? We'll leave that up to you to decide.
وبكده تكون خلصت حلقة النهارده يا جماعة. متنساش كده تحت في الكومنتات ايه الرياضات اللي انتوا كنتوا تعرفها من قبل ما تشوفوا الفيديو. وبس كده يا جماعة، اشوفكم الحلقة الجاية. سلاموز اميجوز.